What's going on, everybody? It's FREEDO here for your Overwatch. Today, I need to tackle what is a bit of a controversial subject, so let me just get it right out there and remind everybody that Overwatch is my love. It is the game for me, and it's where I want to spend all my time, and where I do spend all my time. I'm quitting my full-time job to do Overwatch content and expand into the game as much as possible because I love the game so much. But when you love something, when there's something wrong, it can really sting and put a damper on things, so it's important that you're honest about it, because that's the only way that you can ever make anything better. So with that being said, there's been a giant elephant in the room that I don't think many people are actively talking about, or maybe they don't even know why the problem exists, but I think I do. Or at least a big part of it. Keeping in mind that I think the game is playing great right now. I love where the meta is, I love where the balance is of the game, and it feels very enjoyable to play, but there's a still underlying issue that needs to be addressed right now. And that is the way that Winstreaks and SR distribution works entirely. There's a reason that we think that so many of the ranks seem incredibly fluid, and there's not a standard set of skill sets that you can expect from certain tiers of ranks. Now, once you get up to the top 500, yes, of course, pro players play there, but they're gods among men. I have been able to get all the way up to Grandmasters before, and once you start to get that high, it starts to pull you into even higher level games, and then things start to make a bit more sense. But to be honest, even all the way up there still is fundamental misunderstandings about how the game of Overwatch is played. Things that all of the pro teams do normally don't happen in matchmaking, even at the highest 0.1% of matchmaking. Now, this season, a lot of players were pointing to the way that the placements went to say that it has boosted players higher than they're supposed to be, but I don't think the placements are at fault anymore, and you can't even point to that because it's been so long ago that placements started this season. What's more important is the win streaks and the loss streaks. And this is something that I fundamentally think must change in Overwatch to improve the rank experience for everybody at all ranks. So what is the problem? Well, the issue is that there's a momentum system based upon the streak that you're on. That is inherently flawed in a number of ways that I'll try to list here. First of all, the worst of them all is that it adds a luck element to the entire equation, because it seems to matter more the order in which that you play your games, not what you put in or get out of them. Because of the way the momentum system is built, the SR bonus for whether you're going to lose lots of rank or gain lots of rank builds momentum if you continue down one path. Now, theoretically, the goal of this is for the system to adjust to put you towards where the game thinks you're supposed to be. But I hate to say it, that I have no faith in this system whatsoever, because it has not proven to me to have any legitimacy or consistency to do what it says it's designed to do. Instead, all it seems to do is reward and punish you based upon going on win streaks or loss streaks. It doesn't seem to be accurately fine-tuning and evaluating you as a player. That seems entirely irrelevant. Instead, all that matters is consecutive wins or consecutive losses. I'm sure there is small things behind the scenes that I can't see, but after tracking a lot of my games and the SR swings that I get based upon different things happening, the largest factor that I can tell is the momentum of the loss streak or the win streak. That's it. And honestly, this couldn't be worse, because what it does is, instead of reading the context of the game, and I mean an individual match, within itself, it's somehow trying to build a theme on your play session, which might be entirely out of your control. For instance, if you get really good teammates 5 games in a row, or you get really bad teammates 5 games in a row, ultimately has nothing to do with your output in the game. But more importantly, in a game where your team isn't functioning well at all, at the higher ranks of play that you go, the more and more impossible it comes for you to make an individualistic impact, because Overwatch is a team game after all. And I think that's where a big problem of this lies. At the lower ranks, I think this system sort of works, and I'm still against it overall, but I can see how it sort of works in that if you pick Tracer, Genji, Pharah, or something at bronze, and you're a much higher level player than that, you can take over the entire game. And you can do this all the way up to maybe plat/diamond, and then you're going to hit a brick wall where you need teamwork, or you have to be actually a pro player to push beyond that point. Because in those games, once players start to get the hang of everything, and you can't simply just walk over them anymore, the margin for error for the entire game becomes razor thin, down to the point of someone's on a hero that they don't really understand how to play. They pick Lucio and don't speed boost on King of the Hill. They pick Rhine and never charge. and just get pinned themselves. There's a lot of like core plays that can be missed that make team fights unwinnable and snowball the game to be an instant loss. And since Overwatch games are won and lost on such razor-thin margins, it makes less sense to inflate the impact of a single game based upon compounding results. So the result of that is, in the system we have now, the ranks of Diamond all the way up to the brink of GM seem incredibly fluid. There's players in Diamond that belong way up higher, and there's players that are approaching GM that likely should be way lower. This SR momentum system is so dominant that if you get on a lucky streak, which I have done, you can rank all the way up to the point where you're playing with top 500s, and conversely, if you say, like I did, get 50% 2CP draws in your map selection, which happened to me. I played 15 games and half of them were 2CP, which not only is a bad game mode for me, but I think it's just a bad game mode for teamwork, and the type of mode that you can have the least carry potential because everyone has to go in at the same time to take objective B, and if you don't coordinate that, you're just not going to take it, ever. It's never going to happen. There's no amount of sick plays you can make because the enemy spawns right next to the point. You have to have lots of teamwork. So why should playing a game like that compound the SR wins or losses either way, as if you had a massive impact in that game? Because you don't. You're 1 out of 6 players. So where am I going with this? What I honestly would like to see is that this entire SR boom and bust system is just went away with. I would love to see ranks that are much more static, or at the very least, Diamond and above should take much longer to rank up or rank down, because where we're at right now is outrageous. From 2 to 3 game sessions, it's possible to swing almost 1,000 SR. I've done it. I've seen it happen. And this happens to me and Liam as well, where either we play together or play separately, it kind of doesn't matter, and we go down 600 or 800 or 1,000 SR, climb our way all the way back, and then go on another unlucky streak a different day. I mean, we're the same player. That's the thing I'm trying to say. I'm the same guy. I didn't, like, go insane one day and then terrible the next day. If I'm playing terrible, I just usually stop. I know I'm not a pro player, but I don't think this system is accurately representing my skill or the skill of many players out there that are playing the game of Overwatch. What I imagine is that it feels good to have these big swings and feel like there's some sort of momentum to where you're going in the ranking system, but all that leads to is the ranking system being incredibly illegitimate. Because the problem with it is that it's not rewarding consistent play, it's rewarding streaky play. Whether that's D-ranking or up-ranking, whatever streak you're on, a lucky or unlucky streak has way more impact onto where you're placing at the moment than does your actual consistency over time. So with that being said, each game should be taken as an entity on its own, and there shouldn't be this massive momentum from game to game. If Blizzard were to just remove that aspect entirely, there could be more stability in the ranking system, and it might take you a week, 2 weeks to actually achieve that next rank, but that's a good thing. It should mean something once you get up to GM. Because right now, it just feels like if you play long enough and get on a lucky streak, you'll get to that next rank. It's just gonna happen. If the stars align and your team's better than your team enough times in a row, you just rank up. It doesn't feel like you're supposed to be playing the long game, which is what I think a better ranking system would be doing, showing stable increases over time. Instead, it feels like if I dodge enough 2CP, and get enough workable teammates, then I can go on a win streak. Also, it does, of course, help that the meta now is completely different, and I'm back on a win streak again, to a point where I feel that I can make impacts on the game, luckily, because so many more heroes are viable again. But I don't think there ever should be a case where you can lose like 120 SR in a single game. I've seen it happen. How do you lose that much in a single game? If you get unlucky and have a few teammates that throw in a row, or just have a team that's objectively worse than the enemy teams, you are going to lose. Why should that sink you down faster? You should lose SR, so don't get me wrong about this. I'm not saying that you should be able to stay at a good rank and never win. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm saying there should be more gradual changes over time, not these massive swings in a day. I can't say I really remember how a lot of other ranking systems work, but I don't think it's ever been the case that after a few hours of play, you could swing an entire rank up or down quite easily. That seems off to me. And it's worse in Overwatch because the games are shorter. A CSGO game lasts like an hour. It's a slog. I know a lot of MOBA games can be like this as well, but Overwatch, there's a reason why pros play multiple maps. At Apex Season 2, where I think has the most competitive matches that I've ever seen, they play best of fives. And teams that are objectively worse than another team can take multiple maps off a team that's much better than them. Very small things can win a game in Overwatch because a single map doesn't last that long. And that's okay, but in order to compensate that, the SR drops and gains that you can get from these maps should be more equally scaled to what they mean for you as a player. I know if I lose 15 games in a row, I should get D-ranked, but I don't know if necessarily 2 full ranks is in order. Maybe just 1. Because conversely, then the next couple days, I get on a luckier streak and go and start winning 5 games at a time, 10 games at a time. Why should then I just get boosted all the way back up to where I was? Instead, if it was more gradual, then maybe I am a diamond player. And there's this nice stability to it where I feel like I'm among peers that are more or less the same at my level. Because that's what I've heard a lot of other people say. Like, well, you can't blame your teammates because they are at the same rank as you. Well, how does that make sense? Because one day I can spend hours at GM and then have a massive unlucky streak where I either get whatever combination of factors, I play bad, teammates throw, get a poor map draw, and I lose a bunch of games. Am I all of a sudden a diamond player the next day? When I was just playing against pro players one day? There's got to be some more reasonable middle ground to this. I'm not trying to say that I deserve to be in the top 500. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's not just how it damages my rank, but I see the effects of it through all the ranks. All the players seem to be just a mixed bag. I don't think that's good for anybody. Guys, let me know what you think about this. Am I being too hard on this? Do I just need to get good? Start winning games, FREEDO. Start carrying. You should be able to carry a team fight if your teammates get picked off early, every single engagement. Fine. I might be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. I don't think it would hurt anybody if the ranks were more stable. You might not be able to get that euphoric, uplifting, big boom into the next rank and get a shiny new medal, but what it should do is improve the stability of the matchmaking to where the games make more sense and the level and rank that you're at is more consistent, which is what I want. I want the quality of my games to increase, not my rank to look shinier. And I hope you guys agree. But you'll let me know in the comment section down below, won't ya? At the very least, if you appreciate this channel, to stick up for controversial opinions, please hit the like button whether you disagree or not. We think it's best to stand up for critical thinking, because this doesn't change how I feel about Overwatch. Just because I'm critical about this doesn't mean I all of a sudden hate the game or something. I love this game, I love what they do to it, I love the developers, I think they did an awesome job changing this big patch. New things coming down the pipeline, they just continue to impress me, and I hope they can do it once again by getting this right. I feel like this is the right time to bring this up because I think there's enough time for them to fix it by next season, which is what I want to see. I think we got the balance of the game in check now to a decent, stable spot. Now let's get the SR gains and losses to a similar spot. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button so you can get all of our controversial videos each and every day. And you want to make sure you hit the bell icon so you can see when the toxicity goes live. Follow our Twitch streams where we stream each and every day. And since, like I mentioned, I'm quitting my job, there's going to be more Twitch streams coming. Yes, you can't keep me away. Be sure to set up email notifications so you can see when either myself or the other Overwatch guys are going live on Twitch. Be sure to follow our Twitter and check out our Discord server, also linked in the description. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.